5 years ago, I was plummeting toward a depressive episode, was drowning in completing a master's during a global pandemic and my dietetic internship toward being a dietitian, and the world was dark, for sure. I was one of those people that didn't want to download this app called TikTok, didn't want to learn a new app from like the creator side of it. If you know, it's like another thing to learn. I don't want to. But after a couple months when mental health was an all-time low, I was like, okay, let's see what this thing is about. All I've been doing is applying for 60 plus jobs post-graduation, trying to find a job during a pandemic. Let's find something to entertain myself while I'm in the depths of my despair. For anyone that knows me, you know that a lot of my content started very dietitian focused. Previously, I was like dietitian EMK, but that didn't mean that I only consumed dietitian content. I discovered this world of booktok, where there are all these people so excited talking about reading, giving book recommendations, showing off their little libraries. And I felt a resurgence of excitement in my life. To give you a quick backstory, I was that kid in elementary school, middle school, that those like library reading challenges, the book reading challenges to get you a pizza party, whatever it was, were one of the easiest things to achieve. My previous library kids, this is like a common experience for quite a few people. And then came high school, where the required reading was just so dry, and also I don't like being told what to read, so like that really turned me off of it. And then enter undergrad and grad school, where all I was reading was scientific articles. Not the most exciting reads. So to find the interest once again and appreciation for books and reading recreationally was crazy. And so many people experience this. So many people have been like burnt out. I'm gonna keep using the term library kid. Burnt out library kids. They used to read so much growing up, and then for whatever reason life gets crazy. Required readings, in my opinion, are like have like a 20% success rate of being actually interesting. If you couldn't tell, I was not a fan of English class. I know the importance of it, but was not a fan of it. So I feel like all these burnt out readers found booktok, or new readers found booktok, and it was this beautiful space where we could talk about books. This isn't to say this is perfect. I've been on booktok for 5 years now. We've seen some scary things, from anti-intellectualism to plagiarism to yellow face to harassing hockey players and professional athletes. Not innocent. There's also weird sometimes it gets a bad vibe, bad rep. That's not to say that it's all bad. This space just created such a new way to like look at reading, to chat about reading, and it was exciting to read again. It also became like kind of a cool thing to read again, which I'm not a big fan of that, where just like using reading to like appear intellectual is like, actually read it, my guy. Don't just hold up a book and like pose with it. Don't just hold up a Sarah J. Maas book and like drop a thirst trap. That's literally probably one of the worst things to come out of booktok, honestly. Every man that's done that, shame on you. But that's not to say it was all bad. And myself personally, like, okay, I made a little Goodreads way back in the day. Well, I've had it. Be sure to now check out my story graph. And I got a Fable, and then the whole, what we're talking about, the AI incident happened. Now I'm like, okay, well, I guess we have story graph. But if you look at my Goodreads, there's some questionable books, and you know what? some authors just get us into reading. It might not be good or great, but you know, it got us back in there, and then I was able to navigate that space a lot easier. Being able to read and like have the excitement around reading and going to libraries again and like talking to your friends about reading, there's just like such a good feeling. It just brings out so much fun conversation. Now I'm in a book club with some of my good friends. Now I am like posting about banned books, advocating for freedom of speech through reading, advocacies for our libraries. There's just so much great stuff that came out of it. I know there are reading communities on every social media platform. Obviously, I'm here on BookTube. I love it here. Good vibes here. Actually, BookTube has been great. No complaints here. Bookstagram, also very fun over there. Honestly, with how it's going, I might have to remake a Tumblr, re-download the app, with seeing what's going back over there might be the safest space, because I don't want to lose this community we've built together. I know we're always going to be out there. It's just how we find each other and the best way we can communicate, because my fellow Americans, with this impending doom that is the TikTok ban, it's going to cut off a lot of our communication with each other. And at the end of the day, it's about cutting off communication and not allowing us to develop class consciousness. And we were talking about things that they couldn't filter through the news outlets or Meta, because Meta, how do I say this in the nicest way possible? Meta is a doormat that just cares about politicians' monies and making money, essentially, and being a monopoly, even though we're supposed to not have those, but you know, whatever. Quick shout out to the TikTok CEO for not buckling under and selling. Like, I hope the rest of the world enjoys TikTok. Well, it is eventually, I'm assuming, tapered out of our Americans' use. This is just to say, I'm not going anywhere. I'm gonna still be talking about the same things. Instagram can keep shadow banning me every time I want to talk about social justice issues, but I'm not going anywhere. We're gonna keep talking about books. We're gonna keep finding each other. And now that we know there's like so many of us out there, and there's so many people that have common interests, and like the way we were able to communicate with people around the world, we will find a way. This is not the end all be all, and we're gonna just keep fighting, because with all this energy and time that I won't be spent on TikTok, I'm not going to go spend it on other social media. Sorry, Mark Zuckerberg. To my FBI agent that's watching, don't be too concerned, okay? We're fine. You should have seen this coming, honestly. So with that being said, I'm so thankful for all of you here. So thankful for all the people I met through the BookTok space, all the recommendations. My passion for reading again came from it. I have to attribute, like, I have now been averaging like 70 to 150 books, quite a bit average, a year for the past 5 years because of BookTok, and that is crazy. It's crazy what one app can do and what connecting with other people can do. So with that, thank you, BookTok. Over here in America, we'll find a way to persevere, and this is not The Last of Us.